So none of this has to be true, and none of it is important, but this is how my mind puts things together, and I thought if I make a video about it, then I'll stop. I can release some of it into the world and have fewer thoughts in my head. So, somebody said that the rapture was September 23rd. And it made me resonate with what's happening right now in the world is we're coming up on what all these stories have been talking about. The coming of the Messiah, whether it's the first or the second based on the stories. The rapture, the world-ending apocalypse. And I thought, so in this story, a couple of thousand years ago plus, there were some phenomenal people who opened some doors. Christ, Buddha, Socrates, Moshe was a little further back, but a few people opened the door for us, for humanity. And it was called the golden age of things. So we're coming back around to a golden age of things where we are now walking through this door. And books have been written about it already, but I'm not quoting them. I'm going from a realization that I had before I heard about this. That the second coming, God works infinitely. When I say the word God, I mean the energy behind everything. I'm not talking about a guy who plans ahead. I'm talking about it's synonymous with the dance of Shiva and such, the expression of everything. Because God is infinite, he speaks not linearly, but expansively into the infinite. So if this coming of Christ or the Messiah, whether it be the first or the second, is everyone who chooses to tune into the words and to the door that was open. And when Christ said, I am the Son of God, that I is for everyone to self-imply. I love that we have people who speak with more clarity, people like Stephen Colbert, who is a deep Christian and says things like, the interpretation of Christianity is the Christ in me sees the Christ in you. And it's so very similar to, the Buddha in me sees the Buddha in you. The God in me sees the God in you. Seeing each of us as the access point for God's experience. Each of us as a child of God. And of course, everything is a manifestation of God. So how could we not be? And that you have these characters like, people could say, oh, this person's the Antichrist or that person's the Antichrist. We have these figures who are graspers of control, graspers of thought and spinners of thought. These, influencers, people who are grasping for the old way of control and trying to get our minds spinning. And Donald Trump is exceedingly good at that, getting the news spinning about something, having something else for us to fight against or fight for, blah, blah, blah. It's all a big distraction from the God within us. And so the rapture is not an ascension because God is not up there. Heaven is not up there and hell is not down there. God is right here. It is within each of us. And so the rapture and the apocalypse are simultaneous, not in a separate way. But just like one of my other videos when I said Simultaneously, the game is being played and the friends are sitting at the table playing that game. You can choose to tune into walk with God within you, or you can distract and get your head spinning and anger spinning about all the things that everyone wants you to be distracted with, so that they get more tweets per second, and now there's other metrics, silly metrics like that, views and likes and whatever. That's how my mind has been putting all this together, these times and these days. And you can choose. You don't have to wait for the rapture. The rapture is chosen. All you have to do is tune in. And you don't have to frame it in all the ways that I'm framing it in. You can just tune into yourself, because that's always been the way to God, the way to truth. I'm sure there's other smart stuff that I wanted to say that I'm forgetting, but I thought I'd tell you because I'm hyper today and I've had too much coffee, and I got this picture in this new room and I wanted to show it off. Good to see you guys. Good to be seen by you guys more. Have a very good everything.